Welcome, welcome. I'm excited to get going here. I'm excited to get going. We have a really fun talk track today and two fun guests. We're going to be talking about CX top challenges and how you can fix them. To do that, we brought two special guests. I'll let them just introduce themselves briefly. Hope, maybe let's start with you.
Hi, yeah. So I'm Hope. I'm the CX research evangelist here at Kustomer. I run our research and I write our CX Insights newsletter, which you should subscribe to if you haven't
Oh
already.
my goodness,
And I'm
that's
really excited just to leverage the power of data to get some great insights and keep our industry moving forward.
I love it. I love it. Well, thanks for jumping on today. And then, as always, Sam, take it away.
Howdy, folks. Hopefully you can hear me. Sam Chandler here. I am in customer success here at Kustomer, but I also am part of the CX industry. So I am looking forward to revealing all of these results with all of my CX counterparts.
Yes, yes. Sam is a new, recently joined here at Customer, expert at CX, an expert at helping our customers actually do what they need to do. So, Sam, we're excited to have you on board. Okay, well, let's start just big picture for a minute. Hope research. That's the topic of today. What is it? Why is it? Give us just kind of the overview of what we're going to be diving into today.
Awesome. So I think it's clear, the CX industry, we're undergoing massive changes with the rise of AI and automated customer support. And then, of course, resulting consumer opinion about that and how it's landing and how it's working and how it's not. So I felt it was really important to quantify, where we are now, where are we going? This is a pretty critical inflection point. So we wanted to understand the top challenges that people are facing now and then kind of what we're looking forward to in 2025.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so went out to a handful of people just to understand what's working and what's not working, and we're going to dive in and find out a little more about that today. I like it. Well, let's start at the top. Based on the research, talk to me a little bit about 2024. I know there was a little bit of a back and forth, like how does 24 compare versus 25? But let's start in 24 because we did just end that year. What were some of the top challenges? What were some of the surprises for you as you got these responses back from CX leaders?
Yeah, so in 2024, the challenges were pretty evenly distributed, which I found definitely interesting. I don't know if that was super surprising, but really, neat to see that there wasn't necessarily one key challenge that was dominating. Implementing customer service automations and AI did come in at number one, and it did have over 26% of the responses. And then changing consumer expectations and budgets tied for second place with about 19% each. So we did have, a good representation, but there wasn't necessarily one clear winner last year.
Okay, so AI and budgets kind of dominated more last year, which I get. I mean, we've seen a lot of rise of that stuff. Sam, you're with customers all the time. You're in the space. As you hear those two top challenges, surprised on your side that those kind of came up as is the big pain points as we kind of finish 2024? Uh-oh. Did I just lose
Oh no,
Sam?
we lost Sam.
Well, my quick take on that, Hope, she'll come back in. She always
She will.
does. My quick take on that, Hope, is that we saw that rise of generative AI in 2024 in a way that I think we're all feeling it. And it is on so many different people's agenda that I can't say I'm surprised about it. On the flip side, the budget one, this do more with less is something that I feel like I continually hear as I hit on the road. And so I'm not too surprised that those came in one and two. Sam, are you back with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can. Sam, I was just asking if you can hear me. Challenge number one was AI, and challenge number two was more around budgets, like this concept of doing more with less. And again, you're out there more than I am. Surprised on that kind of feedback, or how do you see that?
Not surprising at all. What's really been interesting looking at, if I really think back to even 2023 when AI came onto the scene again.
Is that what it was? It was. I know. I feel like there's been multiple times. It's coming and going and going.
Exactly. Over the last, I think 7 decades, it's come and gone and all of this, but its latest episode. So it's back then and really going into 2024, it was new. CX leaders were figuring out, how do I incorporate this into my budget? I know how to budget for people. How do I budget with this new technology? So they were very apprehensive. They wouldn't even have a conversation. And then going into the end of 2024 and now specifically into 2025, their CFOs and their CEOs have said, okay, how are we leveraging AI? Because our competitors are doing that. So this is not surprising at all, but they're kind of stuck on how to do it. So I am glad that we have resources like what Hope has put together.
Do you feel like, Sam, just one more double click on that? I mean, this do more with less is like it's just so hard. Have you found any quick tips or tricks people are doing to kind of see if they can manage that? There's so much more to do, but I am being just really squished on the budget.
Absolutely. Doing more with less, tale as old as time. I cannot think of a time in the industry when that was not the question of the moment, right? But the AI is the tool. AI is not the end goal. And so what I would encourage most people to do is think about, one, are you ready for AI? Quite frankly, are you ready for it? But then, thinking about, okay, where can we leverage it? And it doesn't always have to be bots. There are plenty of other places to do that. And so, again, as you're thinking about doing more with less, I encourage people, I call it, don't automate yourself out of your differentiator. There are plenty of places where you can add that humanity and really get a leg up on the competition. So just think holistically about your budget before you decide where to put it in and where to cut costs, because you're cutting costs might actually cost you in the long run with revenue.
I love that. I love that. What was that line again? Don't cut your differentiator.
Don't automate yourself out of your differentiator.
Oh my goodness. I gotta put that on my wall here. I love that. Okay. Back to the research for just a second, Hope. Okay, that's 2024. As we think about 25, how did you see the change? Was it big change, or is it kind of similar? Actually, we see the same thing that kind of in 2024 AI and budgets, in 25 it slipped in and that still dominates. How do they compare?
Yeah, so implementing automations and AI is still number one, but now it was with over 41% of the responses, and that was a 57% year over year increase for that response. So still important, just even more important. And then on a related note, CX technology limitations rose from the number 5 spot in 2024 to number 2 this year for 2025. And it's not that budgets, I don't think, are important. It's just that there are so many other things that are so top of mind that budgets, kind of got pushed down a little bit.
Well, and it might be, Sam, it'd be interesting to get your take on this one as well. But, AI obviously is a technology by definition. So yes, it's gained in prominence, but I've often used the word Frankenstack. I think I stole that from somebody, but maybe I came up with it myself. I can't remember. Either way, when you start to try to get AI into that stack and you've got kind of duct tape and bale wire everywhere, guess what? That's pretty hard to make the returns you want from this AI technology maybe that you're trying to get into place. So maybe that has raised some to the top. Sam, how do you see that differentiation? So AI dominates almost 50% now. It's on everybody, but technology now has moved into the second slot.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, I will officially say that you coined the phrase Frankenstack. So now it's yours. Good job. But yeah, I think that as I talk to C-staff, I think that they've made room in their budget for the introduction of AI. And if you think about what you're hearing all across the industry in terms of where headcount is being added, where jobs are being added, think about the mad rush to AI, not only from a CX perspective, but also in the product development of it. Yeah. So all of C-staff recognizes that if they want this to be successful, they actually are having to invest into that. And I think that that's where some of those budgetary concerns kind of lessened. However, what I will say is that there is no way that we are going into 2025 where that is not a concern again. Just throwing that out there, that will be a concern again. So hope when you do the survey again, just know it will rise up there. There's no way that people are worried about the price of eggs and not about the price of AI.
Absolutely. We're going to get some great findings when we rerun this. I'm excited to see how it changes each year.
But Sam, I like that concept because you're right with I can see how the mind shift maybe changed just a little bit in the sense that the budgets have opened up for AI. I mean, I think a lot of leaders have said, hey, this is a priority because they saw the play on. If I can get the AI, I can decrease the headcount costs. And so I can see how as we run a survey like this, the budgets kind of move down because it is like, I have a mandate to get AI and there is some budget, but truthfully, I'm having a challenge getting it in and actually having it work. So, but budgets never die.
I will also, if I could just, sorry, one more thing about that. AI as we develop it, it does take an initial investment. I mean, if we think about what has been invested into OpenAI, I hope that you're not investing what Sam Altman has gotten. However, it is an operation. I'm sorry, it's a capital expenditure so that you can decrease your operational expenditures. Yeah, so just keep that in mind that yes, this is the time where we are bringing that into the budget, but over the next year, 2 years, 5 years, that is so that you can continue to decrease your budget. So if you are not doing that personally, people are going to start asking you questions, and that's where you need to come to folks like Kustomer for help to make sure that you're actually doing it correctly. Sorry, thought that was an important point to interject.
I love it. I love it. Let's see if we can tackle a couple more on this front. One of the things I saw from the research was the idea of being able to meet customer expectations and some of the challenges we have with that. Hope maybe just double click on that idea because we allude to some of the challenges that people have, but as you then focus that on the customer experience, how do you think those two work together? And what were some of the most difficult things from a customer expectation to meet that consistently?
Yeah, so loud and clear, over half of our respondents said it's personalization. Don't think that's going to be surprising to anyone. That's really, really critical. It's what consumers want. There are some variations with different age groups, but personalization is really important. That was, I think, 52%. And then other things like 24/7 availability, fast response times, omni-channel support, those were each between 12 to 16.
Did omni-channel find its way back in? That's another thing that Sam, that never dies. Oh my goodness, fascinating. So you led with
never.
It was personalization, 24/7 support, and then omni-channel were some of the most difficult things to meet from a customer expectation standpoint this time around. Sam, thoughts on that? Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, and the thing I want to point out is that not once in that sequence did customers say, you know what, I really want to know how their companies are using AI. They don't care about AI at all. And quite frankly, especially if you're in the B2C, the direct to consumer and like consumer facing side, they really don't care. Their spectrum is I don't care versus I don't want this. And so companies really need to be very mindful of where they're interjecting AI into the process. AI is a tool to help you meet those needs of your customers. They don't care how you are meeting the needs, just as long as you are. And so AI is a really great tool to help you with those things like personalization. But just remember, it is not the end goal. Serving the customer is the end goal.
I love that. Yeah, it's a means to an end sometimes. And you do get stuck on that. It's AI, and it's like, wait a minute, what's it for? Well, you still gotta have personalization on that front. I love it. Okay, well, I want to wrap, but I want to give each of you just a minute, maybe to just do a quick summary. I mean, hope you were into the data, and I know you, Sam, you've been talking to some customers about some of this stuff. So as we leave, what would you leave behind for the audience based on some of the findings? Hope.
Yeah, I would say that the time now is to, prepare for your AI implementation, because if you don't do it, your competitors will, and even outside of the competitors in your industry, it's going to be the other brands that are competing for your consumers' attention. Other research, not from Kustomer, but that I've been seeing, shows that a lot of brands are not at a spot where like their data infrastructure is ready for AI. AI is something that you need a really, really good stack to be able to do right. So focus on getting that plan ready and start working on that, because if you, by the time you want to introduce AI, you are going to be maybe not behind your competitors. So, but it's a big process and you should do it and you should start now.
I love it. Sam, what would you leave us with? What would you leave the audience with?
Those were beautiful words. What I will add to that is, as C staff has allowed the budget and the resources for CX leaders to just start implementing AI, that is for the long-term goal of reducing costs and creating a better experience. And so I would highly encourage any CX leader who is starting to dabble in this, make sure that you are not thinking of this as a set it and forget it kind of thing. If you turned it on once and then you're like, okay, well, it's done. It's not. It's not like any of our other previous resources or technologies or tools, like a knowledge base article that didn't really require much maintenance after you've set it up. So highly recommend, if it's something that you've started thinking about, you've been kind of given the budget and the resources to do it, partner with somebody or some people that have done this before, so that they can help guide you through those phases and give you a little bit of a benchmark of like, are you at where your counterparts are at, or do we need to kind of adjust things?
I love that. I love that. Well, I appreciate both of you taking the time. The study is available. We'll have the link here present so you can grab it, or you can always find it at www.kustomer.com/resources. So Hope, Sam, thanks so much for joining. For the audience, have a fantastic day.